It is 6 p.m. in Hong Kong. It's 11 a.m. here in London. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is World One. CNN has just learned that police in Hong Kong have arrested 6 people following the territory's worst ferry disaster in recent memory. The people detained are crew members of 2 boats that collided on Monday evening. This is the scene right now. 37 people died as the vessels came together off Llama Island. Rescuers have spent the day searching the water for survivors. The impact threw at least 100 people into the sea. One boat was taking families to watch a fireworks display for China's national holiday. Witnesses said the vessel's bow ended like the Titanic. The other ship, a passenger ferry, made it safely to port. Well, authorities have not ruled out the chance that people might still be trapped inside the partly submerged boat. We want to get you the very latest now from CNN's Remy Inocencio. He joins us now live in Hong Kong. Remy. Us there live. A Muslim cleric who was found guilty of inciting racial hatred will find out today if he'll be extradited from Britain to the United States. Lawyers for Abu Hamza al-Masri are fighting to prevent him being sent to face terrorism-related charges and possible life imprisonment. At today's hearing in London, judges must decide if there is a compelling reason to halt the process. The hearing began about a half an hour ago. Dan Rivers is at the High Court and he joins us now live. Dan, is this the last-ditch legal effort?
Well, we think so. I mean, to be frank, we thought the last one was the absolute last ditch.
All right, we do apologize there. We seem to have lost the sound there for Dan Rivers. You back now to London's High Court, where the Muslim cleric Abu Hamza is now fighting extradition to the United States. We want to take you back now to Dan Rivers, who is reporting that story for us. And Dan, we were talking about whether or not this is the last-ditch legal effort for him.
Absolutely, yes. I mean,
Dan Rivers there at London's High Court. Weeks after he vanished without a trace, a journalist who went missing in Syria could still be alive. A video has been posted on YouTube that appears to show American Austin Tice being led blindfolded by a group of armed men, but doubts are being raised over its authenticity. This image, captured from the video, appears to show Tice blindfolded and Mohammed Jamjoon is following the latest developments now from Lebanon. He joins us from Beirut. Mohammed, let's first talk a little bit about what's actually happening right now as the violence continues in the country.
Well, Monita, another day of violence throughout Syria, according to the opposition activists that we've...
Mohammed Jamjoon, thank you. Turkey has taken in the greatest share of Syria's growing stream of refugees. Thousands of people have left their homeland as the violence spiraled. The UN says the numbers could reach 700,000 by the end of the year. But in southern Turkey, some people are unhappy with the influx of Syrians from the border. What newspapers are saying about this, we begin with the headline in today's Zaman, which is in Turkey, and it says, people of Oct02 in Hatay province feel Syria's pain most. And it goes on to say, Turkey's southeastern province of Hatay has felt the fallout from the bloodshed in its neighboring country more than any other place in the region, having opened its doors to refugees and sometimes even an unwanted mortar shell. The Wall Street Journal has this headline, refugees within Syria pose problems. The article focuses on those displaced within the country, saying with winter not far off, many refugees in Syria are scattered in makeshift shelters across the country. Mosques, churches, schools, abandoned buildings. And finally, Gulf News focuses on divisions within the country with this headline, Syria's simmering urban-rural divide. It goes on to say, for the past 18 months, urban and rural Syria found a common objective to unite them, wanting to bring down the Syrian regime. When that is achieved, a struggle for power will emerge between the two camps. Welcome back. Well, the economic news from Spain just keeps getting worse. The numbers of people out of work rose again in September. The Labor Ministry says another 80,000 registered for unemployment benefits. The nationwide jobless rate was already 24.6% in the second quarter. Era of austerity, every tax euro counts. In Italy, authorities are going to the dogs to track down tax evaders in airports. They're using a new kind of scent-detecting dog who's raking in the cash. Ben Wiedemann meets Stella, a working dog with a nose for money.
Ben Wiedemann, CNN, Naples.
Well, from governments cracking down on taxes to cracking down on online piracy in Japan, internet users who illegally download copyrighted files could be fined up to $25,000 or face 2 years in prison. That's one of our top trending stories today. The anti-piracy law has been on the books since 2010, but this is the first time the government has introduced punishments for illegal downloads. Also trending, one of the most popular stories on CNN.com is Jose Mourinho's comments about his social life. The Real Madrid football coach told CNN he hates his social life and wishes he could be a normal father who can simply blend in at his son's football games. But despite the cost to his personal life, Mourinho insists he wants to coach for at least 2 more decades. And finally, also getting a lot of people talking right now, IKEA. The furniture giant has apologized for airbrushing women out of its Saudi Arabia catalog. It says it was a glitch in the work process, but that it takes full responsibility for the mistake made. Pictures dispersed across the web Monday compared the 2 versions. The Saudi edition looks the same as the regular one, except there are no women in it. You're watching World 1 live from London. Georgia are waiting to see whether the opposition party won enough support in Monday's election to become the new government. Early polls show the Georgian Dream Party is in the lead. Its leader, the billionaire Bidzina Ivanishvili, is in the studio with some late-breaking developments, Matthew.
Yeah, I mean, the news agencies reporting out of Georgia are saying that Mikhail Saakashvili has now conceded the election.
Of course, we'll wait to get confirmation, CNN confirmation on this news is coming in that that Mikhail Saakashvili has conceded defeat for his ruling party at the hands of the opposition. Matthew, thank you very much for that. We have some news just coming into CNN. French prosecutors have dropped a rape inquiry involving the former IMF chief Dominique Strauss-Kahn. The allegations centered on a party in Washington in 2010. You may remember that story. Strauss-Kahn has always denied wrongdoing. The prosecutor in Lille says the alleged victim will not press any charges, saying the relationship was consensual. The race for the White House steps up a gear on Wednesday when Barack Obama and Mitt Romney go head-to-head in the first U.S. presidential debate. A new poll suggests it's a tight race. 50% of people asked said they would back Obama. Well, so what they really reflect. And when we look at the economy as the big issue within the American electorate, many people had thought that Mitt Romney was the man for the job, but it certainly doesn't seem to be reflected in when they're asked at the polls.
Yeah, our new poll, our national survey, which we conducted just in the last couple of days, indicates...
Paul, thank you very much for that. Paul Steinhauser, they're joining us there from CNN New York. You are watching World 1 live from London. Lots of happy people.
Yeah, that's Captain Jose Maria Olazabal. He looks, it has to be said, the best of the bunch. I think it's been 2 days of partying for the European team after that sensational performance on Sunday where they really upset the odds and came back from 10-6 down to beat the USA team. Not all the European players have arrived back in London this morning than we've maybe seen before.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. You're watching World 1 live from London. You're watching World 1 live from London. We are approaching almost 7 a.m. in New York. It's almost 1 p.m. for you in Berlin, and it's almost 8 p.m. in Tokyo. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the natural wonders of the world, but the latest research shows the world's largest coral reef is in danger. Scientists in Australia say the reef has lost more than half of its coral in the past 27 years. They say the destruction is mainly due to natural causes, storms and plagues of coral-eating starfish. Tens of thousands of species of creatures that live on the reef are now under threat, and experts say the coral cover could halve again by 2022. The challenge now for conservationists is keeping the starfish under control. Well, the Australian Institute of Marine Science did the research, and we're now joined by its CEO, John Gunn. He joins us now all the way from Canberra in Australia via Skype. Sir, thank you very much for being with us. So we're looking at this starfish that seems to be the culprit when it's eating away at this all-important coral. How did they become so strong and so populous?
So crown of thorns starfish, they are the villain in the play.
Thank you so much there for your time. I really appreciate that. There are other coral reefs around the world that are also in peril. Mari Ramos has more now from the CNN World Weather Center. With that, Mari.
Yeah, Monita, you know, we pay a lot of attention as to what's happening, of course, to the Great Barrier Reef, one of Vietnam. True. Back to you.
All right, Mari, thank you.
Sure.
You're watching World One live from London. I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. We'll update you the news headlines in just a couple of minutes right here on CNN.